If you're one of the 70 million Americans who depend on Social Security, you need to stop what you're doing right now and pay attention because missing your February payment date could throw your entire month into chaos. I'm talking about late rent payments, overdraft fees, missed bill deadlines, and unnecessary stress that you absolutely do not need in your life. The Social Security Administration has just released the official payment schedule for February 2026. And there are some critical changes and important details that every single beneficiary needs to know about. I've been covering Social Security updates for years, and I can tell you that February is always one of the trickiest months when it comes to payment schedules. Why? Because it's the shortest month of the year, and that creates some unique timing issues that can catch people off guard if they're not prepared. Add to that the fact that we're dealing with federal holidays, weekend adjustments, and different payment groups, and you've got a recipe for confusion unless you know exactly what to expect. So grab a pen and paper, pull up your calendar, and let's walk through everything you need to know about your Social Security payment in February 2026. By the end of this video, you'll know your exact payment date, you'll understand why it might be different from what you expect, and you'll have all the information you need to plan your finances accordingly. Let's start with the basics because I know not everyone watching this channel is familiar with how Social Security payment schedules work. The Social Security Administration doesn't just send out all 70 million payments on the same day. That would overwhelm the banking system and create absolute chaos. Instead, they've divided recipients into different groups based on specific criteria, and each group receives their payment on a designated day of the month. The first group to receive payments every single month are those who were already receiving Social Security benefits before May 1997, or people who receive both Social Security and Supplemental Security Income, which is SSI. If you fall into this category, your payment always arrives on the third of the month. Always. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is, it doesn't matter what your birth date is, you get paid on the third. However, and this is important, if the third falls on a weekend or a federal holiday, your payment gets moved to the last business day before the third. Now let's talk about February 2026 specifically. February 3rd falls on a Tuesday, which is a regular business day with no federal holidays. This means if you're in that first payment group, your money will hit your account on Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. Mark that date on your calendar right now. Set a reminder on your phone. Make sure you're checking your bank account on that day to confirm the deposit arrived. For everyone else, your payment date is determined by your birth date. This is where things get a little more detailed, but stay with me because knowing your exact payment date can make a huge difference in how you manage your monthly budget. The Social Security Administration divides the remaining beneficiaries into 3 groups based on the day of the month they were born. If you were born between the 1st and the 10th of any month, your Social Security payment arrives on the second Wednesday of every month. For February 2026, that second Wednesday falls on February 11th. So if your birthday is on January 5th, March 9th, October 2nd, or any date between the 1st and 10th of the month, you're getting paid on Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. If you were born between the 11th and the 20th of any month, your payment comes on the third Wednesday of the month. In February 2026, that third Wednesday is February 18th. So if you were born on April 15th, September 20th, December 11th, or any date between the 11th and 20th, your money arrives on Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. And if you were born between the 21st and the 31st of any month, you receive your payment on the fourth Wednesday of the month. For February 2026, that fourth Wednesday lands on February 25th. If your birthday falls on May 25th, July 30th, November 21st, or anywhere between the 21st and the end of the month, you're looking at Wednesday, February 25th, 2026 for your payment. Now, I want to take a moment here to address something that trips people up every single year. Some of you might be looking at the calendar and thinking, wait a minute, there's no fourth Wednesday in February some years, or you might be confused about how leap years affect this. Here's the deal. February 2026 has 28 days. It's not a leap year. But the way the month falls, we still have 4 full Wednesdays in February, which means all the regular payment groups get their deposits without any unusual adjustments. Everyone gets paid in February itself, and nobody's payment rolls over into March. Let me also talk about Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, because those payment dates work a little differently. SSI payments are always scheduled for the first of the month. However, if the first falls on a weekend or holiday, SSI recipients get their payment on the last business day of the previous month. For February 2026, February 1st is a Sunday. This means SSI recipients will actually receive their February payment on Friday, January 31st, 2026. That's right, you're getting your February SSI payment in January. This happens several times throughout the year, and it's completely normal, but it's something you need to be aware of for budgeting purposes. Here's why this matters more than you might think. If you receive SSI and you're used to getting paid on the first, getting that payment 2 days early might seem like a nice bonus. But here's the catch. You're still going to have to make that money stretch through the entire month of February and into March 1st. Some people make the mistake of spending that early payment too quickly and then finding themselves short later in the month. Don't fall into that trap. Just because the money hits your account on January 31st doesn't mean you should treat it any differently than a February 1st payment. Now let's talk about what you should do if your payment doesn't arrive on your scheduled date. First, don't panic immediately. Sometimes there can be a delay of a few hours, especially if your bank processes deposits later in the day. Most direct deposits hit accounts early in the morning, often between midnight and 6 a.m., but some banks don't post them until later in the business day. So if it's 9 in the morning and you don't see your payment yet, give it until the end of the business day before you start worrying. If your payment still hasn't arrived by the end of your scheduled payment date, the next step is to check your My Social Security account online. Log in and look at your payment history to confirm that the payment was actually sent. The Social Security Administration's website will show you when the payment was issued and the amount. If it shows that the payment was sent but you haven't received it, the problem is likely with your bank, not with Social Security. Contact your bank first to see if there's an issue with your account. Sometimes deposits can be held up because of account verification issues, name mismatches, or other banking problems. Your bank should be able to tell you if a deposit was received and why it might not be showing in your available balance yet. If your My Social Security account shows that no payment was issued, or if you can't access your account, then it's time to contact the Social Security Administration directly. You can call their national toll-free number at 1-800-772-1213. Yes, you're probably going to be on hold for a while. The best times to call are early in the morning, right when they open, or later in the afternoon on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Avoid calling on Mondays and right after the first of the month because those are their busiest times. Let me also address a question I get constantly in the comments. Can your payment date change from month to month? The answer is no, not unless something about your situation changes. If you were born on March 15th, you're always going to be in the 11th through 20th birth date group, which means you're always getting paid on the third Wednesday of the month. The only thing that changes is which specific date that third Wednesday falls on in different months. Your payment group stays the same. However, there are situations where your overall payment schedule might change. If you start receiving SSI in addition to regular Social Security, you might move to the first of the month payment schedule. If there's a change in your benefit type or if you're transitioning from one program to another, your payment date could shift. But these are major changes to your benefits, not just random month-to-month variations. Here's something else that's really important for February specifically. Because it's such a short month, you need to be extra careful about timing your bills and expenses. If you're someone who gets paid on February 25th, that's cutting it really close to the end of the month. If you have bills due on the 1st of March, you're only giving yourself a few days to make sure those payments go through. My advice is to set up as many bills as possible on autopay scheduled for a few days after your Social Security deposit date. This gives you a buffer and ensures you're never late on important payments like rent, utilities, or insurance. Also, be aware of how your other income sources line up with your Social Security payment. If you have a pension that comes on the 15th, Or if you have retirement account distributions on a different schedule, map all of that out so you know exactly when money is coming in and when bills are going out. February is short enough that poor planning can leave you in a tight spot. One more critical thing I need to mention. There are scammers out there who specifically target Social Security recipients around payment dates. You might get phone calls, emails, or text messages claiming to be from the Social Security Administration saying there's a problem with your payment or that you need to verify your information. Do not fall for this. The Social Security Administration will never call you asking for your Social Security number, bank account information, or demanding immediate payment. If you get a suspicious contact, hang up and call the official Social Security number yourself to verify if there's actually an issue. Looking ahead beyond February, it's a good idea to mark all of your payment dates for the entire year. The Social Security Administration publishes the full payment schedule on their website, and you can find it easily by searching for Social Security Payment Schedule 2026. Print it out, put it on your refrigerator, add the dates to your phone calendar with alerts. The more prepared you are, the less stress you'll have. Remember, your Social Security payment is probably your most important source of income. Knowing exactly when it's coming and having a plan for how to manage it through the month is essential for your financial stability and peace of mind. Thank you so much for watching this February payment update. If this video helped you figure out your payment date and plan your month better, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel because I post these payment updates every single month along with news about cost of living adjustments, benefit changes, and everything else you need to know about Social Security. Drop a comment below and let me know what your payment date is and whether you found this helpful. Are you getting paid on the 3rd, the 11th, the 18th, or the 25th? I love hearing from this community, and your engagement helps other people find this important information. Share this video with your friends and family members who receive Social Security because I guarantee someone you know is going to be wondering when their February payment arrives. Until next time, take care of yourselves, plan ahead, and I'll see you in the next video.